Okay then chaps, let's give it a go, shall we? Now we're having a little bit of fun at the Siani Desert today, where I'm showing you that same maneuver as before, and as I have said, it can be a rather tricky landing to perform. However, on this occasion I seem to have managed it with only a small amount of damage to my aeroplane, and I should be able to repair it before I need to take off again. Now in the distance there we can see an aeroplane approaching, and that is nothing to be alarmed about. It's simply a good friend of mine having a little bit of fun with me. Now that is an enemy armored car, and I'm afraid that is something to be alarmed about, so I'm going to have to take the aeroplane off at this point, and as I have said, this maneuver is not always successful. Never mind. Okay, now I have a friend in the back of my aeroplane here, and we're going to attempt a maneuver that we have seen online, so I'm going to try to drop him on top of this rocky pillar here, and there we go. Okay, now I'm going to move down towards the ground and try to get some distance before bringing the aeroplane back up and over, flipping it round and trying to come in to pick him up on the move. Now unfortunately at this point another good friend of mine jumps in the back of the aeroplane, and unfortunately he is rather sozzled and he cannot be convinced to vacate the seat to give us a chance at this maneuver. Never mind. Now he has jumped out of the aeroplane at this point. In fact, we can see him up there waiting with my other friend, who I'm about to try to pick up on the move, and unfortunately I do not seem to be able to achieve it. Okay, never mind. Right, I'm going to take the aeroplane back down towards the ground, try to gain some distance before I bring it back up and over in a classic loop and flipping it over at the appropriate point. Okay, here I go. I'm coming in for a second run now. And now I do seem to be a little high, so I'm going to try to wash off the height there before slowing the aeroplane down. And okay, let's see what happens this time. And yes, it does appear that he can climb into the plane whilst on the move, and that really is a jolly good show. Okay, now we're approaching the G flag here, and we can see there are a number of enemy soldiers about, but I can't quite see them, so I'm going to jump out and... there's one. Okay, let's give them the good news, shall we? Down you go, sunshine. Okay, now there's an armoured car over there, and I'm going to try to get in, and as I do, I realise it's already occupied by an enemy soldier, and unfortunately, down I go. Never mind. Okay, now I'm on a GG, making a run in an artillery truck here. I plan to shoot him with my anti-tank gun when I realise I don't have an anti-tank gun, and... oh dear, oh dear. Okay, now I'm on a motorbike, and there are some enemy soldiers around. However, unfortunately, I cannot control this thing any better than the horse, and... yes, I pretty much get the same results. Probably best not to dwell on it. Okay, now I respawn inside a friendly aeroplane at this point, and as I do, it disintegrates beneath me, and that sort of thing really is a rotten spot of bad luck, and it seems the pilot has had a rotten spot more. Okay then, now that's the aeroplane exploding there. I think I'll just ignore that as I move down onto the flag. Now we're approaching the D flag here. My friend has just jumped out. I try to as well, but unfortunately I get into the sidecar, and that really was not my intention whatsoever. However, we manage to secure the flag, and I get back onto the motorbike, and as I do, a good friend of mine turns up on a horse, and as I back the motorbike out, I notice a friend has got into the sidecar. Now that was some flaming debris there, but we shall not let that deter us. I'm going to bring the motorbike round here and bring it to a stop and ask my friend if he would like a go at the controls, and when I do, he assures me that he is quite happy in the sidecar, and so I get back onto the motorbike and decide to give it another go. Okay, here we go. Better be careful. Oh dear. Never mind. Okay, now I'm in an armoured car, and as you can see, my squad are attempting to take the C flag here, and unfortunately it does appear that they are coming under fire. So I draw my car up closer and attempt to convince my teammates they will be far safer, benefiting from the protection the armoured car is sure to provide. They seem a little hesitant at first, but then one of my friends does get in, and as he does so, the armoured car explodes. And of course I won't hear the end of that. Okay, now I'm pushing down to the A flag. I'm in an armoured car again, and as I get there, I see my squad are already here, and what's more, they have an armoured car as well, and that really is a jolly good thing. However, as I'm sat here waiting, unfortunately, my friend's armoured car disappears suddenly, and that is the gentleman who is rather sozzled, I'm afraid, and he becomes enraged at the notion that I have stolen his car, and he cannot be convinced otherwise. Okay, now we're in yet another armoured car, and we're making a run at the enemy's armoured train here. Now my friend rams into the vehicle and it does no damage. I let off a few shots and establish that won't do any damage either. However, as fortune would have it, I am possessed of an anti-tank gun. I let off one shot, let off another before an aeroplane comes in, and there we go. managed to take him down. And that sort of thing really is a jolly good show.